Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man. One of the videos that give us cause to say that is this video. It is from her Instagram stories from years and years ago. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a female chest, we have to take this down. Oftentimes, if breast cancer runs in a family, women will preemptively get like double mastectomies. And there are some great surgeons out there, don't get me wrong, but I don't see any scars on Brittney's chest that would be indicative of a double mastectomy or top surgery for gender transition.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Clark Update. Today, we're taking a closer look at a story that has sparked widespread debate across the Wnba community. Social media has been flooded with claims involving Sophie Cunningham and alleged DNA evidence connected to Brittney Griner, leading to countless reactions from fans and basketball followers. But what is the truth behind these allegations? What information has actually been confirmed? And why has this topic attracted so much attention in such a short time? Stay with us as we examine the facts, separate speculation from reality, and break down everything currently known about this developing controversy. Let's get started. At the same time, another story involving Sophie Cunningham has been spreading rapidly online. According to viral reports, a teenage fan holding a pro-Sophie Cunningham sign was confronted by the Seattle Storm owner, who allegedly demanded that the sign be put away, leaving the young supporter in tears. That claim has been circulating across basketball Twitter over the past 2 days, and it isn't simply another exaggerated rumor gaining traction online. The events that reportedly unfolded courtside in Seattle appear even more concerning than the headline alone suggests, and the situation has become about much more than the result of a single basketball game. Instead, it has fueled a larger conversation about the direction of the league and how certain incidents are being handled. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 90% of our viewers still haven't subscribed. It only takes a second. It's completely free, and your support genuinely helps the channel continue to grow. Have you subscribed yet? If you have, thank you so much for your support. Now, let's get back to the story.
That we were effing insane,
and she's like, and she went like this.
Insane. Yeah.
She's like, you better stop this
and stop pulling
shit.
this. Yeah.
And
for you guys
I
to
hope
come
God
here
can
and
save
pull
you.
This. Yeah.
She said, for you to come here and pull this shit.
Yeah.
She said the word.
Yeah.
Did she say effing insane or?
No,
she
said the word. Yeah.
And nobody around you spoke up for you.
No.
I will say, Annalie, when I came over, you were in tears.
Yeah, I've never been yelled at like that. I mean, I've had people hate on me on the internet, but like it doesn't really affect me as much because it's just people online. But that just took me by surprise because I thought she was gonna be nice, and then she starts like screaming at us.
During a WNBA game, a teenage girl showed up with a sign in her hands. It wasn't offensive, it didn't target anyone, and it didn't mention a single player by name. The message simply thanked Sophie Cunningham for speaking out in support of female athletes. But according to people sitting nearby, a Seattle Storm co-owner approached the girl during the game and told her to put the sign away. The incident reportedly unfolded in front of a completely sold-out crowd, and by the time everything ended, security had become involved and the young fan was left in tears. Think about that for a second. At a professional basketball game, an adult who holds an ownership position with a WNBA franchise allegedly confronted a child simply because she was holding a sign expressing support for a player she admired.
In that story with ESPN, you talk about wanting to protect young girls who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Can you expand your viewpoint on that?
I mean, I think I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children, and that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe that.
Yeah, do you see your advocacy on that, like, taking any form going forward?
You know, I don't know. I'm not a very political person, but I do have beliefs. I have morals, and I'll always stand on those and be true to who I am. And I think people are going to take it how they want to take it, but I've never even really said anything about that. And so when it comes just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport, I feel very strongly about that. I think that's why you have Title IX. That's why you have some of the greats in women's sports. If Title IX and women's sports were protected, then you wouldn't hear about any type of women in sport. And so I think in the future, it's just really important to protect.
Do you think, I guess, on one like that, it goes against perhaps, some people might say, hey, for the trans community, this could be something that could come back on us or be targeted against us. Like, how do you, I guess, view that sort of critique?
Like I said, I extend love, and I don't dislike anyone. Like, I think there is room for absolutely everyone here, and I think there's room to love everyone.
Just a few weeks earlier, Sophie Cunningham was asked directly during an ESPN interview about protecting women's sports. Instead of avoiding the subject or trying to water down her response, she answered without hesitation. She made it clear that she believes young girls should be protected in locker rooms, that they should not be required to compete against biological males, and that she will continue standing by those views no matter how much criticism or backlash follows.
How the left is completely intolerant and the actual hateful ones. This woman is not an owner of a basketball team. She's an owner of a left-wing, radical, political activist group that happens to play basketball. Because this team has endorsed Kamala Harris for president. They have promoted trans rights on their website and their merchandise. And clearly they hold a double standard and allow people to hold signs like this, but belittle young girls that support their sports remaining female. I don't expect them to do this, but I would really like to see the WNBA protect and stand up for fans just like these two young girls from hate and
That answer included no insults or personal attacks. She didn't single out any individual, whether it was an opponent or a teammate. It was simply a direct response to a direct question, delivered in a calm and measured way, exactly as you would expect from someone who had clearly thought through her position instead of speaking on impulse. But within this league, topics like this rarely stay neutral for very long. So whether Sophie Cunningham intended it or not, her comments quickly became linked to a specific name.
I think it has been so fun. I played with BG for 6 years, and so I know her like the back of my hand, and as of late, she's been playing really good. She's been playing like OG Brittney. I'm there to love, but I'm also there to love biological women, and I think that there are rights that need to be protected, and like I said, I'm going to stand true to that. I'll never falter in my beliefs in that, but I have never once said I hated the trans community. Like I said, I think there's space for...
If you've watched any of the Fever's games against the Connecticut Sun this season, you probably already know who many fans believed those comments were referring to. Over the past few seasons, Brittney Griner and Caitlin Clark have been at the center of several heated on-court moments, from controversial physical plays that many felt when uncalled to a bench incident from last season that fans continue to analyze frame by frame. Add in the officiating decisions that many viewers have questioned whenever these players have shared the court, and the debate has only grown louder. So when Cunningham, widely viewed as Clark's closest teammate and one of her strongest defenders, publicly stated that biological men should not compete in women's sports, many fans felt they didn't need anyone to explain the connection. Whether that interpretation was right or wrong, the timing of her comments was enough for many people to draw their own conclusions.
Some fans at the game booed Cunningham when she checked into the game. One Seattle Storm player even showed up pre-game wearing a shirt that read, "Trans rights are human rights." After the game, Storm coach Sonia Rahman was asked about the situation.
Seattle and this organization and Climate Pledge, we always want to be an area where people feel welcome coming into this building. I think we've always done a really good job with that. So I know our organization was, working closely with Climate Pledge and with security to just make sure that, everybody feels safe and included and welcome when they walk in this door. And from what I understand, that
interpretation, that Cunningham's comments were aimed specifically at Brittney Griner, has never been confirmed or addressed by Griner herself. She has never publicly claimed that the remarks were about her. However, in a separate interview just a few days before the controversy gained momentum, Griner did admit that playing against Cunningham can be extremely frustrating, while also saying she wouldn't want anyone else standing beside her teammates in those intense moments. People can interpret those remarks however they choose. What is clear, though, is that the online reaction to Cunningham's comments was anything but small, and it didn't take long before the discussion spread across social media.
Cunningham, a female athlete herself, very accomplished in her own right, coming forth and speaking that truth that men shouldn't play in women's sports. We want to protect women and girls,
Within roughly 48 hours, the story had spread across the country. USA Today was among the first major outlets to cover it. By the following morning, ESPN had discussed parts of the controversy on several of its programs, and Fox News devoted an entire national segment to the topic. Whether the league welcomed the attention or not, the White House press secretary also publicly stated that Cunningham's position aligned with the views held by many Americans. That is an extraordinary level of attention for a WNBA role player who simply gave a direct answer to a single question during a feature interview. At that point, the conversation had grown into a national debate that reached well beyond the boundaries of basketball. And through all of it, Sophie Cunningham never asked for the story to unfold the way it eventually did.
This notion that you're hating on the trans community because you are not a proponent of them participating in female sports is utterly ridiculous. Sophie Cunningham said every word right on the money. There's no hate involved. There's only love we're talking about. But what happened to loving girls who are born biologically as girls? What about their rights? What about fairness associated to them? Leah Thomas, I'm gonna keep bringing that name up. 400 plus in the world competing as a male. Transitions to female, and he was number one. If we're gonna act like transitioning from male to female doesn't involve an advantage for that trans athlete, I have nothing to say to you. You're not exercising.
What people should really pay attention to is what Cunningham did afterward, because that's what truly separates her from many athletes who have faced similar situations. A few days later, reporters came back with more questions, clearly expecting her to soften her position, rephrase her comments, or completely walk them back. She did none of those things. Instead, she repeated her stance almost word for word, while adding that she doesn't hate anyone and genuinely believes there is room for everyone. At the same time, she made it clear that she wasn't going to abandon her personal beliefs simply because some people disagreed with them. That's not the behavior of someone looking to create controversy for attention. It's the response of someone who was asked a fair question, answered it honestly, and when the criticism eventually followed, stood by what she had originally said instead of pretending she never meant it.
Comes out last week and talks about her beliefs, which I do think is very rare, especially being as young as she is, and quite honestly being brave to share something she knows is going to get picked apart a million times, and then standing by it. That's refreshing, especially from a young...
That brings us to Seattle, where the story shifted from an online debate to an incident involving a real child at a live basketball game, witnessed by fans in attendance. On paper, Tuesday night's matchup between the Fever and the Storm was supposed to be nothing more than a regular WNBA game. Before tip-off, a modest crowd gathered outside Climate Pledge Arena. Some people came specifically to show support for Cunningham, while others were there to back a Washington ballot initiative that has been drawing increasing attention across the state over issues related to fairness in girls' sports. Some supporters wore clothing featuring the XX and XY chromosome symbols, while others carried signs expressing their views. None of the displays targeted any specific Storm player. Instead, they reflected a broader conversation that had grown beyond the comments of a single WNBA player, focusing on Cunningham, the discussion she had entered weeks earlier, and an ongoing policy debate that had been building for quite some time. Two of those supporters eventually made their way inside the arena and took courtside seats while holding a banner thanking Cunningham for standing up for girls. According to Brandy Cruz of Undivided, who later spoke directly with them, a woman approached them during the game, called them completely insane, and security was then asked to remove them from their seats. Fans later identified the woman as Celeste Cunningham, a minority owner of the Seattle Storm. One of the supporters later said the situation escalated so quickly that what began as a normal night at a basketball game turned into a deeply personal and emotional confrontation, leaving her in tears before the incident was even over.
Signs that said like, we love Sophie, like thank you Sophie for speaking up, and so we were holding them, just watching the game. Again, like, we were being super great, we hadn't said anything to anyone else, we were being super respectful, we were just holding our signs and cheering for both teams. And this lady, older lady, comes up to us, and at first I think she's gonna be nice, and then she asks like, what are you guys doing? Something like that. And then it was like, Jesus loves everyone. That's what she told us. And I was like, oh, I know. Like, I'm religious. Like, I know. Like, I know.
Nice.
Yeah. And she's like, I hope Jesus can forgive you for what sin you've done, and like something like that. And then she told us that we were effing insane.
And she's like, and she went like this.
Insane.
Yeah.
She's like, you better stop this
and stop pulling
shit.
this.
Now think about the imbalance at the center of this entire situation. Outside the arena, people with different opinions on this issue gathered peacefully to express their views. Despite those disagreements, there were no reports of anyone crossing over to confront people on the opposite side or trying to force them to stop expressing their opinions. That point is important. No one is arguing that fans shouldn't be allowed to enter the arena wearing clothing or displaying messages that reflect their own beliefs. Yet inside the building, a co-owner of the home team allegedly confronted a teenage fan who was quietly holding a thank you sign in support of a player from the visiting team and instructed the fan to put it away, all in front of thousands of people in attendance.
Seattle, and we can support female athletes, and Brandy was right there ready to help us, and thank you all for showing up. We just have simple belief that women are adult human females, and women deserve their own female-only sports and spaces, especially prisons and domestic violence shelters. We are higher than age.
Here's the question everyone should be asking. If someone wears clothing that expresses a political message from the opposite side of the same debate and receives applause from the crowd, but a simple sign that says, "Thank you for speaking up for girls," is enough for a fan to be confronted by a member of the team's ownership, what does that really say about the current environment surrounding this organization? The sign wasn't offensive. It wasn't disrespectful, and it didn't single out or criticize any Storm player. In reality, it simply expressed support for Sophie Cunningham's position. After the incident, majority owner Jenny Gilder released a statement saying, "Everyone who attends a Storm game deserves to feel welcome regardless of what they believe," while acknowledging that a co-owner had spoken with two fans and offering an apology. But pay close attention to what the statement carefully left out. It never identified Celeste Cunningham by name. It didn't explain exactly what was said to the fans during the confrontation. It also failed to address whether there would be any real accountability beyond a carefully written public statement, or why a co-owner believed it was appropriate to confront paying spectators over a sign in the first place. To many observers, it sounded more like a polished attempt to move past an uncomfortable controversy than a genuine effort to fully address what actually happened inside the arena.
Look, I literally just left CrossFit, don't have any recording material here, but breaking news, Storm co-owner Celeste Cunningham was fined and suspended from attending the next 5 home games of the Seattle Storm following the incident with Fever fans last night, in which she made a comment about one of their players' supporters that came directly from the league. So that's the latest on this developing story.